Welcome to Wander Paws Down Under. I'm Dan,
I'm Anita.
and together we're travelling around Australia with our dog Wally, our cat Paprika, our off-road caravan, and our trusty Toyota Hilux.
And we're here to bring you some pet travelling tips on the road. And this time we are on the road from the Northern Territory all the way to Cairns. But instead of bringing you, a drive-by scenario, we're going to actually do something a little bit differently. We're going to talk about the places that we visited that might be underrated, as in better than we expected, or overrated, maybe not as good as the Instagram posts.
Yeah. Best of all, the places we're going to feature on today's episode are all super pet friendly. So you can bring your pooch, bring your kitty, bring yourself, ideally as well, and go off and enjoy exploring.
Yeah.
Now, Western Queensland, it's a really interesting part of the country. When we were there, it was actually bone dry
and hot.
and super, super hot. Whereas, as we make this video right now, it's just after a massive amount of rains that have come through.
True.
Lots of flooding. So the country's changed a lot. It's super green. You just don't know what you're going to get sometimes.
Yeah,
but
so exactly.
therein lies the appeal.
But that might mean that your experience is completely different to ours. So we can only base our story on our time of being there and the experience we had.
Yep.
And it was super, super hot and super, super dry.
Now, before we proceed any further, remember to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, give us a comment. We'd love to connect and hear your feedback. Let's get started.
What's
So
the
the
first
first place, we're going to move our way from the west to the east because that's the direction we were travelling in. Obviously, you can do the inverse if you're travelling to the Northern Territory.
Yeah.
But the first place we're going to cover is the Camooweal Billabong. And I would happily rate this one as underrated.
Absolutely. I think this is totally underrated. What a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's located 192 kilometres east of Mount Isa City, just off the Barkly Highway, and it's just outside of the town of Camooweal. Now, it's a free bush camp. It's located right on the bank of a lake, although technically it is a billabong. I would describe it more of as a lake because it's quite large. And it is famous for having heaps and heaps of different bird life. Pelicans, herons, brolgas, whatever a brolga is.
Storks and, yeah. Look, we're, again, like we've told you before, we're not necessarily bird watchers, but when you see such a beautiful setting, and just all different kinds of bird life wandering around, and yeah, it was just something very special about it. I don't think just for us, but for Wally and Paprika, because they were really happy there. It's pet friendly and it's free, so
Absolutely.
Definitely underrated, because when you see some of the footage, it's just absolutely got that Australiana vibe, doesn't it?
For
Something
sure.
really unique about it.
Absolutely. So if you're keen for a nice sunrise or sunset, this is the place to be. You can see for miles and miles in every direction, so you get that full sun experience.
Yeah, fully off-grid.
Yeah, fully off-grid. So it's accessible to two-wheel drive rigs as well and vans. Pretty easy to get in. There's actually two billabongs, so we do know that this place does get busy in peak season. So if the first billabong when you rock up is super busy, you can just continue along, go to the second billabong, and there's a bit more room there.
And it's not too far from the pub, so you can actually go and have
Good
a
old
nice
pub.
drink or, have some dinner if you just wanted to go into town. It's not very far away. So it does tick a lot of boxes for us. Pet friendliness, tick, and yeah, amazing.
Yep. I think we even enjoyed some really, really nice hummus and other dips with that sunset. So make
It's
sure
a nice
you check
place
it
for a
out.
platter.
Yeah, it's a great place to unwind. I don't know if you'd want to swim in that lake yourself. It seemed a little bit muddy when we were there, but each
was
to their own.
dryish, yeah.
The dog enjoyed it.
Yeah, the dog did swim, and it was just beautiful. We were lucky that there was only one other car there, so yeah, definitely an underrated stop.
Absolutely. So now we're going to move to the east, and this is a place that is on most travellers', I wouldn't call it bucket list, but itinerary.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of mixed emotions for people. It's one of those places that, is a little bit controversial and some people feel strongly one way or the other. In our experience, I would probably rate it as overrated.
Definitely overrated.
Yeah, and maybe that was a product of how we got there as opposed to the actual destination itself, but...
So where is it?
Yeah, so it's 70 kilometres east of Mount Isa City, so it's not too far away, just off the Barkly Highway. And what it is it's actually a former open-cut uranium mine that was started in 1958 and was subsequently abandoned in 1982 once they exhausted all of the uranium yellowcake. There was a purpose-built town just outside of the mine that was built specifically to house the people, and it had schools and medical centre and church and all the good stuff that a town normally has. But these days, the town is no more. So it's basically just a series of concrete slab foundations that are left over, a couple of information plaques, and a really, really dusty surrounding.
And you might have heard of it because it's all over Instagram for people traveling Australia. It's Mary Kathleen. And honestly, I mean, look, there's a bit of history there, so there's parts that you can kind of understand why people are drawn to it. But let's be honest, maybe it was just when we were there and it was just ridiculously hot.
It was 40 and super dry.
There's a few 4x4 tracks there that are really, really struggling. Like, I don't know, like they're pretty much non-existent anymore. Navigating around the place was really difficult. Look, there is like a town centre down at the base that you can kind of camp. It's all off grid, of course. There's nothing there for you to sort of. You probably wouldn't want to drink any water nearby, I would imagine. And then you've got the mine itself, which does have this beautiful blue hue to it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
there is something pretty about it.
Yeah, I mean it's iridescent. I mean it's blue. It's that particular type of electric blue for a reason, and that's because of all the mineral leachings that have happened. Yeah. But yeah, look, you are right. We actually had the caravan with us in tow. So what we did is we drove off the highway, we drove into the old abandoned town, and we decided to set down the caravan then and there. Now, there was no way we were leaving our pets behind because it was fully exposed, 40 degrees. So if you do have pets, make sure you take them with you in your car to the mine itself. And don't do what we did, and don't follow Google from the old town centre to the mine. Because I thought, oh yeah, we'll take the shortest track possible. We've got a 4-wheel drive, we've got a Hilux. Yeah, should be right, mate.
And you know what? It started off looking like a track.
Started off just as a normal 4-wheel drive track, you know, a bit rocky, a bit narrow.
Like, oh, there's a couple of trees like kind of hanging over, trying to scratch the Hilux. We're kind of like, oh, maybe that's normal.
And it descended into a super narrow track with heaps of ruts.
Thorn bushes.
The car was getting scratched up. She was looking at me like she was going to slice me up.
Yeah.
The cat was really pissed off behind us.
Yeah.
And, you know, I thought, okay, we'll stick with it. There's only a few kilometres left. And we got to a dead end. And there was no mine. We actually got to the edge of the mine. Yeah. But you had to climb literally like a small mountain to get up there.
Terrible.
Wasn't going to work. So I had to do a U-turn, a 15-point turn. She is absolutely seething next to me.
Let's be honest, I'm glad he was driving and getting all those scratches on the car, because I could only imagine what would have happened if it was me driving at that time. The kind of like scrutiny I would have been under.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't give it back to him a little bit, but if I had scratched the car the way that we scratched it that day.
Yeah,
so
pretty
look,
much.
We did make it to the mine eventually. We did go all the way back along the scratchy path. It's like as we're driving.
Yeah.
But we got back, we found an alternative route where you do still have to walk. So we had Paprika in the backpack, Wally on the leash. Look, you can walk down a little bit closer to the uranium mine, but by that point we were just like, this is hot, this isn't that great, we're not having the best time.
Yeah.
Kind of looked at it and we're like, all right, are you done? And we were like, yep, I'm done. So to be honest, in our experience, totally overrated. Like, I don't know, maybe if you had a big bunch of friends there and had a bit of a different experience and it felt different, but to be honest, you can't swim there.
Yeah, do not go swimming
hot,
in that water.
And it's super hot. The pets were not having a great time. Yep. It's not the nicest terrain either, like very rocky and not nice to walk on. So,
but on the plus side, you do get some nice photos. So
yeah,
I mean, if you're into that, then it's great. Otherwise, look, I would still probably visit it
again. Maybe.
Yeah, I would still probably visit it because there's not that much else around the area, but I wouldn't call it a destination in its own right. It's not the top of my list.
I definitely think the Instagram pictures make it look way better than what it is. That's the one thing. So that's why we're saying it's overrated, because Instagram totally sells it.
For sure. So this was the place where we stayed as we were passing through the area. And granted, there's not an abundance of off-grid options in and around the place. Most of them are pretty poorly rated in that part of the world for various reasons. We decided to check one out nonetheless, called Nonda Billabong Rest Area. And let me tell you, I think this is probably overrated.
Definitely
not that the rating was high to begin with, but yeah, I probably wouldn't stay there again.
And there's a few reasons why. For one, like, okay, we did find a spot near the water, but the sites are all a bit like, you know, rocky, or not rocky, but like uneven and a bit crappy, so you can't really go right up to the water. You kind of have to be a little bit back from the water. Okay, that's all right, we can handle that. We've still got a nice little view of the water, a bit of a billabong, but...
By the way, this one's halfway between Hughenden and Mount Isa, Forgot to add
Yeah,
that
sorry. But already you can sort of feel this is going to be like an insecty kind of place because the reeds are really tall, and you're like, is there crocodiles here? I'm not sure. Like
one. You can hear toads as soon as you rock up, and
it's got like a bit of an eerie vibe about it. Like you're kind of like, there's critters around here. And boy, there is definitely critters around there. I think we went for a walk with Wally, didn't we? And what did we see, Dan? We saw some weird things.
Well, we saw the rat.
There's lots of owls.
So the
owls. Picking up mice and rats.
But we saw the rat. Yeah. And then we saw the cat.
The cat and the
rat. So we saw the cat and the rat.
So there was feral cats there. So obviously not a great place for paprika. Hence why we're probably going to say it's overrated.
Yeah. Muddy bank. So the dog tried to go for a swim. He came out blacker than what he went in.
And to be honest, it just was creepy. Like it was creepy. Just...
Ugh, then you have the ambience of freight trains going past in the middle of the night. That always helps.
So it's not very relaxing. And there was truckies kind of stopping there as well, which kind of gave it a bit of like, truckies, there's no problem with truckies, but it wasn't really the vibe that we got from the first Billabong. Like I think we were trying to relive that moment at the very first Billabong, where we just had this most beautiful place where we were doing a bit of yoga, just looking at the beautiful sun.
There's hummus and sunsets.
Yeah,
there's no hummus, no sunsets here, guys. It was close it up because the insect activity was insane. There was toads everywhere, cats, rats. We're done.
Yeah, I definitely think that was definitely an overrated stop.
But it's free, so sometimes you just got to park up somewhere, spend the night, and get going the next day.
Yeah, like is it better to stay on the water near something versus being on the side of the road? Maybe.
Probably.
But maybe if you have the budget, is a caravan park nicer? Probably.
Yeah. So moving right along, once we did get out of that fine establishment, we continued along the Barkly Highway in the direction of the east.
Yeah.
And we actually found this lovely gem of a town called Hughenden.
It's so cute.
We would rate it as massively, massively underrated.
Absolutely.
Tell us why.
Well, to be honest, there's multiple reasons why. For one, this town it's very cute, right? It's got nice little cafes, it's got a little shop, a few little places that you can sort of stop to buy trinkets. So just like visually in the middle of nowhere, it's just very cute. Like it's, like a little township. Aside from that, there is this whole area is part of like the dinosaur trails. So for people with kids, people that are going fossicking, you might know of the dinosaur trail. Look, we kind of stumbled across it. It wasn't intentional. It was just because we needed to get from A to B. But in Hughenden, they have this amazing discovery centre called Flinders Discovery Centre. And I had read once again on Travel Unity that there is a pet-friendly experience that you can do there. So I didn't realise, though, when we got there, that the whole entire Flinders Discovery Centre was pet-friendly. So you're going through a dinosaur exhibition, and you can bring Wally and Paprika. So dogs and cats are allowed inside the building.
Air conditioning.
Wow. With like big dinosaurs in there and all this information about the town. I really love the way that they went into detail to interview different people from the township and actually have like them speaking to you on like a screen and learning a bit about how they ended up in the town and what the town means to them.
And the surrounding area.
Yeah.
Because it talks a lot about the farms and the sort of terrain and even a lot of the Aboriginal stories.
The cattle, the Aboriginal stories. Yep. Absolutely. And they even had like this really beautiful night sky room that you can walk into. Look, it's just way more advanced for a random little town in, the middle of nowhere. So we were so pleasantly surprised by it. Even the exhibitions for the dinosaurs had full-size kind of fossils and dinosaur exhibition. So look, for us, it was definitely well underrated. Not only that, is we were in Hughenden at the driest time of the year.
I know what you're going to say, but before you say that, you missed a really key point. There is also the opportunity to play dress-ups in this museum. And by dress-ups, I mean you can dress your pooch up if you really want to.
Or your kids.
Technically, there's a little kiddie play area where they can actually fossick for fossils.
And they're allowed to put their little outfits
sandy
on.
area. Yeah, so they can put their outfits on. We decided, well, Wally's our kid, so we're going to put the outfit on Wally. And Wally, as you can see on your screen now, has a fossicking outfit and he's ready to go and find some fossils. Now, amazing, super cute. People looked at us a little bit strangely in the museum, but we didn't care. We did try and do it with Paprika,
Yeah,
but
Paprika
he was
was
definitely
very
not
scared.
having a bar of it. He was just like, firstly, why the F am I inside a museum? And about
Why is there these giant dinosaurs?
about things that I don't care about. Plus, I'm scared of the audio-visual
Yeah, because
exhibits.
there was like the grah sounds of the dinosaurs.
Then my two humans decide to torture me further and try and put a Fosking hat and like a pom-pom thing on me. He was just not happy.
He wasn't
so-
happy. He was squirming his way out of that. But what I was also going to say is it's air conditioned. Like, it's air conditioned,
Yeah.
guys. So in this boiling hot place, you can take your pets into an air conditioned place. Like, so there is so many good things about this little centre.
It's cool. It's cool.
so good.
It's only $20 to get in as an adult as of 2025, so it's pretty affordable, and it's great to be supporting a town with such an amazing initiative. They've put a lot of
Yes.
effort into it, quite a big budget if you see the quality of the exhibition.
It's like being in a city, like
Yeah.
in the museums here in Melbourne. Like, it's that good of an exhibition. Like, it's not as big, but it's really, really well done.
Yeah, definitely worth visiting. But once you do step outside,
You're going to be
the
hot
fine-
again.
You're going to be hot again, and then at least you can cool off somewhere nearby.
I know. Hughenden has a man-made lake. Now, not only is this amazing because there's no friggin' water anywhere in the middle of... Well, maybe if you're there now, you might feel differently. But when we were there, there was just no water anywhere, and it was super bone dry, and we were boiling hot, and I couldn't believe when I read a sign that said something about a lake, and I was like, it says there's a lake here. So we followed the sign, kind of got to a dead end. It was the wrong way. Went back, drove around again, finally found this beautiful oasis. It felt like, look, it's a man-made lake, so it is, but it does have birds, and it does have like change rooms, and you can
Barbecues.
have your kayak. There's barbecues.
There's even space to bring a caravan, so you don't need to
Yeah.
disconnect it. We just drove in straight
Yeah.
with the caravan, huge
Set up.
turning circles, set up
Yeah.
a picnic right there and there.
And you know what? You can swim. You can not only swim, but the doggy can swim, and the cat can roam around. Okay, the cat didn't want to swim, but he roamed around, and honestly, we were once again very lucky. We were there at the driest time of the year, so there was not that many people around. But we had this whole entire lake to ourselves, so we were literally able to go and just enjoy the water, and the water was cool.
Yep.
It was a little bit slimy, but it was cool.
And the bank is sandy, so you don't get muddy as you walk out, which is
Yeah.
a bit of a problem in a lot of that part of Queensland where you have
you
like
get mud.
Yeah, mud as soon as you and
So
it
Wally
sort of
wasn't
negates
getting dirty,
the
right?
reason for
Yeah.
going into the water. But
There's
yeah,
taps.
yeah.
There's taps, barbecues. so
Really good
it's-
place.
yeah.
You can't camp there, so it's a day use only area, but it's a really nice place to cool off and get going on your travels wherever
We
you're
spent
going
a couple
next.
hours, didn't
Yeah, we did.
So I totally, underrated. Hughenden is a great town. Not only that, it has a real Australian, like, community vibe. People really, really love this town. You can tell the effort that's been put into
Yep.
it because they know that you're going to drive past. They need something to bring you in, and they do that really well. I think it's a great town. Definitely
100%.
on the underrated list.
Yeah. And it also talks to the
yeah.
point of, especially at this time of year after so much flooding, it is great to support the local businesses
Yeah,
and towns
absolutely.
along the way. So if you
If you
can,
can
if your
afford
budget
it,
allows,
yeah.
try and stay in places, try and get the pies,
Yeah.
try and fill up with your servo and go to the independent supermarkets.
Yeah,
It does help
absolutely.
these towns.
Yeah, they're super duper quiet towns. Like, I mean, obviously when we were there, it's the hardest sort of time of the year for them because it's boiling hot and not
Yep.
many visitors. So you do try to make the best of it and do support the towns if you can. But yeah, there are some options along the way.
Yep. As described. So
Yeah.
this was our top underrated, overrated places in Western Queensland that are pet friendly. There are places to see and do, places to see and things to do. This was our list. Let us know what your list was. If you have any others that you found along your travels that are worth
Yeah.
visiting, we'd love to hear and connect and share the information and love.
Yeah.
Remember to hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you thought in the comments. I guess next time we'll catch you, we'll be in Far North Queensland. Till then, we'll catch you later.
Bye.